So it says here you're coming in because you were iron fisted? Is is that correct? Oh my goodness, you know what probably happened? Uh, did you happen to run into a blonde young man, very loud, very aggressive, tends to light himself on fire by chance? Yeah. I think, oh, I think Johnny might have gotten a hold of your intake form and made a little joke. I apologize about that. That's very unprofessional. I didn't mean to assume that you've been iron fisted in anything. Oh, that is why you've come in today? I I apologize. I didn't realize that what was written down was actually what happened. So let me get this straight. You were punched by Iron Fist, and you lived to tell the tale. Fascinating. Why did he do that, might I ask? Usually he's a pretty nice teammate. You got in the way while you were fighting. Oh. Well, I'm sorry you had such a string of bad luck. I'm not assuming that you have bad luck or anything. It's just, I see you in here quite a lot. Not that I'm not happy to see you, of course. No, I'm always happy to visit with a teammate. It's just the amount of times that you've gotten hurt or gotten yourself radiated by gamma radiation from people who should certainly know better, and by that disgusting Namor. I hate him. Oh, I'm sorry. It just seems to happen quite frequently. You're just getting used to being a metahuman. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Let me just fill this out really quick. Okay. Patient. Okay, and previous issues notwithstanding, the subject survived a punch by Iron Fist. Wow. So, before we get into the whole Iron Fist situation, how have you been feeling? Yes, all of the above, mentally, physically, emotionally. I know becoming a hero or a metahuman can be quite taxing in all areas of life. I just want to touch base with you. How are you feeling? A little overwhelmed at the moment, okay? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. If there's anything I can do to make your transition into hero a little bit more seamless, feel free to let me know. I have quite a lot of experience underneath my belt. Okay. And I know last time we talked about the gamma radiation, but tell me, have you had any issues with anger, or you haven't suddenly turned green or anything and become a raging monster? No hulking out? Okay, good. No need to say smash. No? Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. Perfect, okay. And a few other personal questions if you don't mind. I know we went through a lot of tests last time you were here in the Baxter building, but I want a quick double check and make sure everything is still relevant. Good, okay. First and foremost, have you noticed any physical changes in appearance or strength? No? Okay. And what about any changes in skin, eyes, hair, nails? No? Okay. Any trouble breathing? No? Okay, good. Have you noticed any appendages that you've now recently, I guess, have grown, like extra limbs, extra fingers, extra arms, extra ears? No, good, okay. That's good. You never know with radiation. Sometimes you end up like Bruce and become the Hulk, or sometimes you have the option to turn invisible. You never know. Sometimes you turn into rocks. So I just want to cover all the bases. So you haven't experienced anything like that, have you? No turning into rocks, spontaneous combustion, turning invisible, your limbs can stretch. No? Okay. Good. Interesting. And speaking of growths, you haven't noticed any accelerated growing of hair, nails, eyelashes, eyebrows? No? Okay, good. Well, that seems pretty good. Very pleasantly surprised. You know, most of the time, only something happens when somebody gets exposed to radiation, but maybe that's part of your metahuman powers. Maybe you're just able to, I don't know, take a hit and keep on going, which is certainly a good power to have, I must say. Anything else I want to ask you about the radiation? No? And last but not least, though, any other symptoms, any changes that you've noticed over time? It can be something small, and it doesn't have to be just physical. No? Okay. You're being honest, right? Okay, good. Let's write that down real quick. Okay, now let's get into that Iron Fist situation. So, what exactly happened? You guys were in the middle of a battle. You got in the way, took the brunt of a punch. Okay. Interesting. And you're able to get back up after that? No. Okay, so what exactly happened? Okay, you got hit, got knocked out. Okay. How long did it take you to come to? At least 20 minutes. Okay. Knocked unconscious. 20 minutes. And after that, did you notice any issues? Double vision, seeing things that aren't there, trouble focusing? A little bit, maybe for the first few hours, I should probably say. Still, the fact that you're up and walking is quite amazing. How long ago did this happen? A few days ago. Okay. Fight with Dr. Doom. Okay. I didn't know that you were cleared to begin fighting so soon with the team. Oh, no, I wasn't questioning your ability to be a part of the team. It's not really my area of expertise. No, I'm pretty sure they made the right decision. I just think it's amazing that you, someone who's become a new metahuman, has already taken to it quite quickly and is ready on the battlefield. Absolutely extraordinary, if you ask me. It's not really something you see every day. Extraordinary. Okay, so let's get into why you're actually here. The Iron Fist situation, was it? So, where exactly did you get punched? Around the chest area, okay. Would you mind if I examined it really quick? Okay. I promise to be as gentle as possible. I'm pretty sure you're still in some sort of pain, unless that's part of your abilities, which again, quite extraordinary. I just want to make sure that everything's okay, and again, I don't have it on record of anyone surviving a direct punch like that. So, I would love to study any information I can. Okay, thank you. Let me just put down my stuff real quick. Alrighty, if you want to just hold still for me, I'm just going to gently press around, being very gentle. That is some bruise. Anywhere else? Was it just the glancing blow over here? Or let me take a look over here really quick. Okay. Nothing too tender, not being too rough. Okay, good. Alright. Okay, so it looks like the brunt of the impact happened over here on this side. Surprisingly enough, it doesn't look as bad as it could have been. I was expecting something completely disastrous, but this is... Let's just say I'm thankful that you're still here with us. Oh, Luna Snow was on the field too. She got to you pretty quickly, huh? And gave you some healing, huh? Well, that's great. She is quite good at it. You know, her and Iron Fist are actually childhood friends. It's no wonder they were on the field together. Well, let's hope that she's always there to help out if this happens again. Okay. Would you mind if I take some measurements real quick? I mean, that is quite the sizable bruise. Okay, good. Hold on real quick. Okay, again, I'll be as delicate as I can. Just try to hold still. Try to relax. You should feel no pain during this, okay? Okay. In fact, you seem to be a bit tense. You want to take a few deep breaths with me before we begin? Okay, it's no problem at all. Okay, breathe in. And then breathe out. Good. One more time for me. In. And then out. Good. You can relax those shoulders for me. Perfect. Good. Alright, hold on 1 second. I'm just going to come over here and just hold still. Interesting. Okay, come over here. Space it. Diagonal. Quite the size, huh? Okay, let's do one more time vertical. Perfect. Okay, now let's come over here real quick. Oh, you're doing perfect. Thank you for staying so still. Okay. Let's come over here and take a measurement like this. Now you're perfect. Again, I'm sorry that this happened to you. But again, I'm relieved that you were able to seek medical help as soon as it happened. Fascinating. Okay. Now, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly did this hurt? I'm curious about possibly the effects of the radiation or emerging powers from your abilities, possibly pain reduction. Would you mind if I test your sensitivity? Wonderful, okay. Don't worry, it's not going to be anything painful. I'm not going to get anywhere near that bruise. You have my word. Maybe I'll just test it along your face, maybe along your neck. Just tell me if you're able to feel exactly what I'm doing, okay? And where. Okay, perfect. Let me go grab some brushes. Okay, I am back with some soft brushes. And I'm just going to gently run these over your face at different key points. And I want you to tell me if you can still feel them. We'll go in order of size. So I have a quite large brush here. Should be relatively easy. Then I have a slightly smaller brush here. And a quite tiny pointer brush. This one's probably going to be the hardest. Especially if what I am hypothesizing is correct. No, you don't have to do anything. You can just relax, sit still. If you want, you're more than welcome to close your eyes. That's not going to have any bearing on the test. Okay, wonderful. Alrighty, I'm just going to start with the largest brush. I'm just going to gently brush right along here on this side of your face. Okay. Are you able to feel that? Okay, good. What about over here? Just nice and gentle. Yeah, okay. What about over here along your forehead? Yeah, okay. What about down your neck? You can still feel that one. Okay, good. What about along this side of your neck? Wonderful. Okay, what about over here? Along this cheek? Yeah, okay. What about over here by your ears? Yeah, okay, wonderful. Let's move on to a slightly smaller brush and see if we get the same result. Okay, wonderful. Let's first start along your chin. Can you feel that? Okay. What about along your jaw? Can you feel that? Okay. Let's go along this cheek. Can you feel it? You can still feel it. Okay, good. Let's go around your forehead real quick. Can you still feel that? Good. Okay, and what about along this ear? Over on this side? Yeah, okay, good. What about down your neck real quick? The smaller brush. Good, okay. Now we'll go with the smallest of brushes, and I'm going to be very, very light and gentle, okay? Okay, good. Okay, let's start with your neck. Can you feel that? Tiny bit. Interesting. Okay, what about along your cheek? On this side? A little bit. Okay, what about along your forehead? Nice and gentle. A little bit, okay. What about over on this side? Can you still feel it along this side? What about around your ears? Yeah, okay. And what about along this ear over here? Interesting. Okay. So, getting a little bit more difficult, but you still felt the general sensation? Fascinating. Okay. Whew. Well, that goes one hypothesis. No, that's okay. I mean, that's what science is all about, right? Let me go and put these up and grab my stuff so I can write down my findings. Again, I appreciated the fact that you sat so still for me. Thank you. All right, let me just write down quickly what we talked about, okay? Still feels sensations all throughout there. Very light with a small brush. Possible pain intolerant. Requires further testing. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sitting through another one of my very boring exams. Well, that's very sweet. Thank you. I do appreciate having a willing, experiment. Does make my job a lot easier. Speaking of other experiments, other people, I want to ask you a few questions now that you've officially joined the team, if you don't mind. I know you can take care of yourself, but I just want to double check and make sure how you're fitting into everything, how you're settling in. Okay, good. Well then, my first question is, how do you find yourself fitting into the team? Well, some people find it easier to be on the back lines, kind of strategize. Some people enjoy being a giant wall, to kind of stop enemies, like a vanguard. And some people find it easier to go to the back lines, maybe get a few enemies, come back to the team, or great at one-on-one fights, like a duelist. Do you find yourself fitting into any of those? Yeah, okay. Which one? Could be all of the above, or one or two. Okay. No, there's not a right or wrong answer. Call it more curiosity, where you find yourself most successful and how that relates to your powers. Wonderful. Okay, and have you noticed that you have greater synergy while working with certain members of the team? Like Groot, for instance, or I know he can be a little tough to be around, but possibly Magneto? Interesting. Okay. And anyone else? Spider-Man. Oh, I do love Peter. He's such a sweet boy. He does like to come over here to the Baxter building quite often. Now that I'm thinking about it, he tends to only come in and stop by if I'm making food. I wonder if there's a correlation. He eats and then leaves. I mean, what are you gonna do? He's a growing boy. I'm happy to be of assistance. But it's nice to know that you're getting along with such a lovely person. Anyone else? Doctor Strange, too. Okay. Well, his powers can come in quite handy. Though I will say you do have to listen to him kind of blather on about magic, which as someone of science, I find hard to compartmentalize and, internalize. I like things that I can explain, but it's nice to know that you get along with him quite well. I find his portals really useful. Okay. Anyone else? Well, I'm happy you're finding friends. Now, here's a tougher question. Are you having trouble finding synergy with certain other people in our team? It could be anyone, and this is going to stay strictly between you and I. I just want to make sure that you are being treated fairly and with respect. I understand what it's like to be the new person in a team or group. So, tell me, anyone been giving you issues? Bucky, interesting. Why Bucky? I can understand that. He can also be tough to get to know. I'll make note of that. Anyone else? Venom. Okay. And why Venom? He's a bit intimidating. I can understand that. Have you seen him twerk? Usually I find once you've seen that, he becomes slightly more, I guess, friendlier. A little bit easier to handle. Great for breaking the ice, I would say. You haven't? Well, I recommend it. Trust me, it'll make your intimidation go way down. Anyone else? I'm sorry, you have great synergy with who? Namor. Are you sure? You're sure? Okay, well, he is a he is a member of the team. I wouldn't go as far as to say valued, but I would say he is a member of all time. Just, if you ever need my assistance, feel free to call me at any point in time, unless he is on your squad, okay? Because I cannot be liable or held accountable for anything I do to that man. Disgusting. God, I hate him. Back on track, that's right. Okay, now, last question for you. Do you find yourself needing any gadgets, any implements, anything you might feel would increase your battlefield prowess or success on the battlefield? I mean, we have some here at the Baxter Building. Reed is always getting into new and interesting ventures when it comes to science. Some of them I feel are a little unnecessary, but I think he thinks it's a joke. Why don't I just show you what he's made? And you can tell me if you find it useful or not. If you do, I'm more than happy to lend it to you. You don't have to return it if you don't want to. In fact, I would like to see it gone. Okay? Wonderful. Give me one moment. As you can see, it's an interesting cloak. No, I'm not giving it to you to keep warm. It has one other use. A use that never fails to kind of infuriate me. Okay, well, let's see. It can, help you turn invisible. Yeah, which is funny because I told Reed I can kind of already do that. So I don't understand why you made this. He said it was to help me feel a bit more comfortable and confident if, somebody else shared my same gift, but I disagree. And for a while, he would like to wear it around the house and spook me, which I also didn't really appreciate. So if you need it, it is at your disposal. Oh, you don't want it? Okay, well, it was worth a shot. We'll just hold on to it. Let me know if you change your mind, okay? It'll be here. Well, was there anything else I can do for you? Or anything else you wanted to talk through? No, you really just wanted to get the bruise checked out. Well, thank you for coming in today, and I really wish you luck, on the battlefield. I sincerely mean that. And again, I'm always just a call away. Feel free to ask if you need help with anything, okay? I want to see you succeed and be the best hero you can be. Of course, I didn't mean to take up any of your time more than necessary. Well, have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. Don't let Johnny Oh, it's too late. It's too late. I'm sorry. Sorry you have to deal with that. Well, guess that's my cue to leave. Good luck with that.